Hey everybody, welcome back to When Words Fail Music Speaks podcast. I'm your professional handicapped host, James Cox, and I have another great interview today. But first, let me tell you about him. So today's guest is someone who truly lives on at the intersection of heart and mind. Marco Winters is a Texas-based rocker, singer-songwriter, and poet, an entrepreneur, and believe it or not, he is a rocket scientist. I don't think we've ever had a rocket scientist on the show, so it'd be awesome to talk to him about it. His music blends rock, blues, and pop with something we don't hear enough anymore: positivity vibes. Because it's all not that when you're dealing with the radio. So Mark didn't start his musical journey chasing fame. He picked up a guitar and to write a song for his wife. That moment unlocked the deeper calling, contacting with music, with people through emotion, poetry, and sound. Beyond music, Mark gives back, mentoring entrepreneurs, supporting his Houston community, and using his platform to inspire movement and hope. He has 4 albums, and his most recent single, Let It Rain, released on January 16th, 2026. So go out and download it, buy it, do everything you can with it. So I'm honored to have you on the show, Mark.
Well, James, it's nice to talk with you, man. I'm excited. I love the theme of your show, and I really think music speaks to me in its own way. And so I was just intrigued by the title and
Yeah.
what you guys have going on over here. So thank you for
Nice.
having me.
Yeah. You're welcome, first of all, and thank you so much for coming on. I can't remember where we first met. I think it was Podmatch, I think, maybe.
It may have been, yeah, it may have been, yeah.
Because it's either one of those. I have so many great artists from around the world. I really don't know where we've met, but I think we met it through Podmatch. But yeah, big shout out to Podmatch. But yeah, like I said before, I don't think I've ever had a rocket scientist on the show. Let alone a rocket scientist that plays music. So I'm very interested to talk to you today, sir.
Yeah, it's super. I don't meet that when I'm out touring. I don't meet very many rocket scientists who are performers.
Right?
Some in the
Yeah.
crowd, but not
Yeah.
not performers. Maybe me and Brian May or something. That's the only one that I know
Something.
of, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but so okay, so we're gonna go all to you. Well, okay, so a lot of people don't know that music is poetry and poetry is music of the same sort, and you're both a poet and a musician. Um, Now there's a lot of talk about how songs are not poems and poems are really not songs, but can you kind of delve into your poetry and what you see it as music? And is there any poems that you started writing that like, okay, this could be a song. I'm going to turn this into a great song.
Yeah, that's a great question, and as I sort of think through my journey,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, I picked up a song to sing a song or pick up a guitar to sing a song for my wife for our anniversary. I wasn't a musician at that point. I had to teach myself everything, and but I was a poet, and so in my early years, my grandmother taught me to be a poet. And so I've always found personal expression, writing poems to people. My grandmother and I were pen pals, and I've written poems to a lot of people in my life. It's one of the ways that it's my love language to share back with them.
Yeah.
Some thoughtful words that really embody a moment or an emotion. And so I find often, emotion and poetry are linked in my mind. And one of the things I had to unlock, which was not really native at the time, was how does music and emotion live in that same creative space? Music has always moved me in my life. I have, certain tracks I listen to when I do things, and so it moves my emotion, but I'd never created something with an emotive content or direction to it that was musical. And so I think finding, my way through lyrics in my early writing days was much easier because it was very close to poetry. But how to make them singable was less clear. And so I had to learn exactly what you're talking about right now. What's the difference between a poem and a lyric? And and how do they, they may both come from the same creative emotion or thought you had, but the way you express them is slightly different. And so, a poem has meter, it may or may not have rhymes to it. It's expressing an emotion. It takes the reader on a journey, or the listener on the journey if you're reading it. A song has lyric, and the lyric has to live in a melody. And so, both a poem and a song might have a cadence to them,
Mm-hmm.
but the melodic element of a song is much more pronounced and dynamic and a part of the delivery. And so I had to kind of learn, how to fit words and melodies better together and vowel shapes that sort of make them singable.
Right.
Which is a long-winded way to say it was a lot of fun to be on the journey, and I'm still on it, James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we mentioned your grandma, and I don't know if we can throw your name on there, but do you think she when you're writing now, do you hear her voice guiding you through what to write on the paper or iPad or whatever you do, or like has it become like the instinct where your grandma taught you so much knowledge you just automatically go into that zone?
Yeah, James, my grandmother was very, she's no longer with me. So I don't get to hear her voice in a traditional sense, but I still hear her voice. As a matter of fact, I wrote a song titled Your Voice, that is one of my more emotionally driven songs, because, you know, her wisdom and her way of doing things really shaped a lot of my creative energy. And I hear her voice, even after she passed, when I normally would have heard her telling me something about life or philosophy, or sharing, with me. It's almost like she's a co-writer, she's still with me in spirit. And I hear her tapping me on the shoulder. Hey, Mark, take a breath. The world's a beautiful place. Slow down. Don't make the lines too sharp. A lot of little grandma-isms, and those are all in my song, Your Voice, and are all part of my poetic writing. There's a lot that's intuitive, James, and so when I sit down, if I was going to write a song with you, there's a lot that's intuitive that I know came from her, but I don't stop and go, oh, that was Dean was her name, Deane. That was from Dean, or Grammy as I called her. That was from Grammy. Grammy said that.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, grandmas are the best, I think. Well, I mean, grandpas are too, but
Yeah.
grandmas just have that connection with I guess boys and in general, and I guess the grandpas tend to they're the granddaughters. I don't know why that
Yeah.
is. That's just for me and I got along perfectly well with my grandmas and my granddads. Not saying I didn't get along with them. I did, but it's just some kind of special connection between grandson and grandma. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I think both of my grandparents were influential, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
My grandmother taught me to paint and to write poetry, impressionistically painting. And my grandfather taught me pen and ink, drawing and drafting and construction. We did a lot of work out in the shop, building things together. And so I have some great life lessons and practical lessons from both of them. But there's something, uh, my grandmother's hugs were just phenomenal. They would just make
Right. Yeah.
all the troubles of the world go
I know,
away.
right? Yeah. So warm and yes, cuddly. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
okay, so
sure.
let's go back because I really want to talk to you about this. You're an aerospace engineer, right? Okay, so that's
Correct.
big.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So that's a
Yes.
big deal, and I will say you are more of a genius than I ever will be, sir, because I can't stand math. Math and the equations are the bane of my existence. And me walking upstairs because I'm handicapped. uh, but a lot of okay, so for two-part question. Does math have anything to do with music, and what element of math goes into a music that we do not know? Because I didn't know. I'm pretty sure you're going to say music does involve math, but I don't know how it does. So if it does, can you elaborate? Because I'm fascinated with it.
Yeah, those are all great questions. I think, in my own personal experience, uh, there's a certain amount of structure that you need to be creative.
Yeah.
You can't just go out in entropy and random in the universe, and it's much more difficult to be creative. And so you need some structure. And I think that first of all, my field of study, aerospace engineering, has two prime elements to it. One is orbital mechanics, that's people who study space travel, and then computational fluid dynamics, which are people who study travel and motion in fluids like air or water.
Mhm.
My love is the computational fluid dynamics, the air, the water. It's very mysterious. Even the best AI still can't solve all the problems that are there. We
Yeah.
approximate a lot, and so it's deep and mysterious and filled with calculus and differential equations. And I love all of the applied physics. And so for me, as I think about the applied elements of engineering and aerospace, and I think about music, there's a lot of music theory that's mathematical. So one thing might be an octave, right? You have an octave. The easiest way to think of an octave in music for most people is somewhere. Somewhere. That's an octave.
Mhm.
It's a full octave. It's the same note, but it's an octave apart. So if you had a little piano, you could hit a C in the middle C position, and you could go up 12 steps, and you could hit a C in
And
the
it's the
higher
same note,
position.
right?
It's the same note,
Yeah.
but it is
But
it
it's
is
higher. Yeah.
it's an octave higher,
Right.
and the math of it there's an exact definition for each increment between the initial tone and each subsequent tone. And so math can explain the tone that you're hearing. And when you sing a harmony, there's a mathematical interaction between the tones and the overtones that create that pleasant feeling in your ear.
Mhm.
So what I find personally is there is a great deal of logic that is in music, and the way a note or a progression would go, and you can sort of guess and predict it with mathematics. And when you're doing a composition and you have lots and lots of instruments involved, finding the tonal ranges for the instruments so that they can live and do their part in the music is also, in my opinion, it's a mathematical science, or an engineering style science. Even the rhythms that are in a song are mathematical in nature, but then from all the structure comes creativity. And so you've got when you're writing a melody, you might just hear the melody in your head, and so if you were an amazing vocalist, James, and you started singing and you sang the melody, and then I heard the melody, I could say, okay, well, what I heard you do, I could use math to analyze it. I could grab it, put it into software, and it could tell me every note that you sang.
Mhm.
And in looking at that mathematically, I could tell you what key that song was in. And then I could write chords underneath it. I could compose chords underneath it mathematically to support the note that that you sang. And it would sound beautiful together.
Right.
Or if you were an intuitive person, you might do all that in your head. You heard the melody and you're like, oh, and you would grab your piano or your guitar and you could accompany that person because you kind of know what sounds right through experience. So I think math and music live together, and there's a lot of overlap in the way you could approach something. Um, but I do think, at some point, you start becoming intuitively creative, and that happens outside of math. You can't be math is probably might be influencing you, but I think it happens outside of your math. You're not thinking or computing a melody.
Right.
You're feeling the
Yeah.
melody, and you're like, okay, I need to go here,
Right.
right? So I think there's a lot of overlap, and I find there's a high degree of musical of mathematical affinity for people who play instruments, uh, especially piano and guitar and chorded instruments like that. If you talk to those people, they have an affinity towards math and science.
Right.
If you talk to people who are just vocalists, that's all they are, they just sing,
Yeah.
they don't have a lot of mathematical intuition. As a matter of fact, most of them, like you, James, they like, I hate math,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
have to turn off when I become just singer, Mark, I have to turn off all of that and just let my left, I'm ambidextrous, and my left
Yeah.
hand's sort of more my creative side. And so I let my left hand orchestrate for me when I'm just being a singer, so I can just not think about all the math.
Right. Yeah. It's funny that you said that because I don't think about math, but I'm actually thinking about it while I'm listening to music. Because I don't know if you're aware, well, I'm sure you've heard of Cannibal Corpse. You know, they're a death metal band, and
Yeah.
their producer, Scott Burns, says that you're automatically thinking about how many times the chorus should be. You know, what about 8 bars instead of 4 bars? You know, that
Yeah.
would sound a little bit more broader. And so I think you're right. I think we always think about math, but we're not actually knowing we are thinking about it. You know, when we're hearing something. You know,
It's a trick.
yeah,
And actually,
yeah,
yeah, interesting. Look, so I have a song I wrote, and it's about the theory of relativity and Einstein and but perspective. Like
you're
if
right.
you're watching a person if you're standing on the ground and a person on a train drives by you, your view of time and their passing is different than if you were the person on the train watching the person on the ground, right? You seem to be moving much faster than the person on the ground, right? And so relativistically, there's this Einstein theory of relativity, but it's kind of a perspective thing. And so there's two perspectives that are always happening, right, in between two observers. And so I wrote this song called Speed of Light, and it's about the journey and are you really on a beam of light? You just don't see it, and you're really, progressing, or are you really going really slow, like you can watch the paint flake off of your bicycle,
Right.
right? But I wrote it in a polyrhythm. And so a polyrhythm has two rhythms going on. And so the cadence doom doo doom doo doom doo doom doo doom doom doom. So there's two rhythms overlapping, and one of them and the other. So if you wrote a polyrhythm and one of them was in 6/8 timing, like House of the Rising Sun, and one of them was a pop song that was in 4/4 timing, if you get yourself to enough bars, the 6/8 timing and the 4/4 timing will overlap, and they'll end up lining up periodically.
Right.
And so I had to go through the math of that in my head to get the feeling that I wanted, but for the chord progression. So probably more math than you wanted, but that's kind of how my brain thinks, bringing math and science and poetry together.
Right, right. Yeah, because it's always difficult for me to understand that, but when you explain it, it's somewhat more easier to actually understand. So I thank you for that. You know, because I'm not good at math. Dude, I'm really, really bad at math. That's one thing that I don't do. Um, so okay, so you said you enjoyed. I read. I don't, know if this is true or not, but you said you enjoy taking complex emotions and making them easy to understand. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what has been the hardest emotion that you tried to simplify into like a song?
Yeah, I would say, my 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 latest song that I just put out is called "Let It Rain."
Yes, great
Um,
song. Great
yeah,
song.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
It it's about my my sorrow and my guilt for um, my brother who passed away. Uh, he committed suicide,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I, I didn't do all the things that I needed to do to keep him with me, and that emotional journey was very difficult to sort through. Very cathartic as I wrote the song,
Yeah.
but a very difficult concept for me to and complex, a lot of emotions going on in there and trying to sort of reduce them down to the thing I was feeling the most, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had two family members passed on because they, suicide. I shouldn't say it. It's I don't want to say it's part of life, but you gotta. I don't know if I don't know if they. I don't know what to say here. This is weird for me, but it's okay because I mean stuff like this needs to be talked about and discussed. And I was thinking about how I could help them, but I don't know if they. I know that they reached out, but a lot of people don't understand the signs. That they're saying, "Help me." I need help with this. So
Yeah, I
otherwise,
I understand,
yeah,
yeah, it's like, you never expect, you watch it on a movie and
yeah,
you're at a distance from it, and then it happens in your life,
happens. To,
and you're like,
yeah,
how did I not see that?
right.
How was I not able,
And then
to do more?
you
Yeah.
start reading up on things and like that was okay. Okay, he was doing
Yeah.
this, so and you just like, damn, I should have, you know. Mm, mm, mm. But
Yeah.
so
I have
okay,
another complex emotion for you if you
yeah,
like.
sure, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, please,
yeah,
please,
yeah. So, um, right before the Let It Rain release, I wrote a song, sort of my journey in this world of humanity as AI is emerging. And so, what does AI do? I'm a scientist. I love the shiny things. I love, learning all about it and what it can do.
yeah,
And as I learn more and more and more about AI, I learn, I keep thinking more. The poet in me comes out and it's like, okay, well, if AI can do all that, what does it mean to be human
yeah,
anyway?
yeah, right,
Right? And so trying to come to grips with the human notion of what I want AI to make easier for me. At the same time, what are we actually meant to do in the world if AI is doing all the things we're doing now? Another complex emotion that I put into song. I even put it to a very interesting kind of almost bossa-ish style rhythm, so
yeah,
that it'll be even more human-like
right.
for the question. So I'm not sure if you've had a chance to listen to that track, but it goes down that same journey.
Cool. I'll definitely listen to it after I get off with you, which is going to be great because I really, really, really do love all your because I listen to a lot of I listen to let's see here, hold on just a minute. I listened to him today. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, Let It Rain is your the one that, yeah, and I love that one, and I also listened to Boundary Layer,
Okay.
and that's from 2022, and boundary layer is where a emotion begins to uh begins or stalls, correct?
Yeah, so that's a great thought. Boundary layer, philosophically, we all know what boundaries are. We have to push through
Right,
them in our life.
right.
And so, how that overlaps with science is in computational fluid dynamics. As an as a particle, you're a little particle, and you're moving through the air, and you're getting close to a wall or the wing of an aircraft. You get really close, you enter the actual boundary layer of the object,
Yes.
and the air and the particles in there become turbulent, And as you break through the boundary from the outside, you sort of slow down and then you zing off in a new direction with new energy,
Mhm.
which is very similar to how we philosophically go through boundaries in our life. And so it's about sort of pushing at the supersonic speed, because that's, another phenomenon with a boundary in the front of it, right? Then I can see what I need, right? I'm going faster and higher, so it's about kind of the overlap of that. And you're right. I think, you know, that particle entering the boundary layer is sort of what the song's all about.
Right, right. I want to go back, if you don't mind, to what we when we were talking about left brain, like right brain, and I find that the brain is very very interesting because the left side is creativity, and I'm not exactly sure what the right side does. I get everything else right. But here's a question for you, sir. Has there been a moment in time, which I'm sure there was, but I'm going to ask this question anyway, where your brain actually fought you writing lyrics down? You know.
Yeah. I think, yes, often.
Okay.
As I think about how I write, I'll use a song that I just wrote here recently. Um, so most of my songs come from this things that strike me that are happening to me, probably like most songwriters. So like I'm driving and the the sun shines through the side of my car window and it refracts and it becomes its full palette of colors. And I
Mm,
love red. And so
yeah.
I'm looking for the color red in the middle of the rainbow that's there, right? Um, and so as I'm writing my thought about that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I think, okay, well, when I meet people, I kind of do that same thing. I look at their light and I try to find the very best refracted angle of them because I love people and I'm looking for the best in them. And so I start writing myself a poem about that, and I want to talk about, I see this refraction. It's about 45 degrees. It's splitting, the spectrum quite nicely. There's a few missing colors from the spectrum. You know, it's shining on my dash and it's refracting again off my dash. And so I'm thinking about the scientific phenomena, right? That's
Right.
occurring. And then, and I'll just say right hand, left hand. So my right hand is doing all this, scientific notation. And then my left hand steps in. It's like, stop it, Mr. Right Hand, stop
Right.
it,
Exactly. It's
right?
like, what are you
Yeah,
doing, dude? Yeah. Yeah.
stop. Okay, here you have the perfect light, right? Eyes can feel a thing. Please look down in my soul. Spectrum spreads its wings. What we see can take a toll.
Mm,
Merging can be what destroys. But those colors, so I have this, so I can let my poet take over, but I gave it a little bit of the structure already with my right
right.
hand, and then I have to tell it
Yeah.
to shut up because it's got too much of a voice. Shut up, and then let the poet out.
Right.
So all the time it happens that way when I'm writing.
Right. And I know that gets aggravating, but I guess it is for the best when you finally come out with the actual product, right? Correct? Or do
I
or
think
do you like
so.
I could change this word a little bit better, and then Brent's like, no, you can't. You stick with this one,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm involved with the songwriting community here in Houston and elsewhere. I love to co-write and collab and go to critiques. And so when I was first writing, I would bring my songs to the critique sessions, and they were like I wrote a song called Triangulation. It's
Mm,
about finding your way in a crowd, and it's very
mm,
it's very mathy sciencey,
right.
right?
Right.
And like 30 people heard it, and only one guy even knew what triangulation was. And everybody else was like, what the hell
What
is that? And what's it about?
what is it?
Right?
Right. Yeah.
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 So I learned, okay, I've got to dial the science back
Dial it down. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make it relatable.
Right.
Right. Otherwise, I want to share the positive view I've got, the positive energy. And if I make it unreadable, might as well write it in Swahili or Russian
Mhm.
or something where people wouldn't understand it. So
Right.
I've learned to, like you said, I've learned to be more selective with the scientific terms that I use and put them in a way that they still can be, impactful for the people who are listening to my songs.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. So we're gonna do like a quick lightning round. You
Okay.
just say what the word that comes through your brain the fastest. We're not. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
song that still stops you in mid sentence. Like when you're talking to somebody and you're having a good vibe. Song comes on, boom. It's like, wait a minute.
Sweet Child of Mine.
Perfect. Yeah. 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 Okay. And do you know why that is, or it's just something you can't really explain?
That song just talks to me.
Yeah.
Um, I love the riff. I love the interaction of the melody. I love the lyrics. It just stops me when if I hear it going, I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Morning writing or late night inspiration?
Ooh, morning writing.
Morning. Okay. Well, yeah, because I guess you get a good cup of coffee, sit down and just relax, right?
And watch the sunrise. I love
Oh
a
yes,
sunrise, man. I
yes.
mean, I love the sunset and the
But
evening,
yeah,
whatever else,
yeah.
but most inspiration in the morning. Yeah.
And every sunrise is different, So you
Yeah.
got different outlooks about how the day's gonna go. So one word that you overuse in your own lyrics, or do you even overuse any words? Because I know like and not those, but it's just like not filler words.
Oh, I can't. I'm drawing a blank, man. There's nothing comes
Okay,
to mind.
all
Yeah.
right, all right.
Light, maybe. How about light? Light.
Light. Okay,
Light
perfect.
is used. I think of it often. I end up replacing it, but
Yeah,
it finds its way into a lot of my writings.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's test your science mind here. Okay, science
Okay.
term that secretly sounds romantic.
Who a science term that's
Sounds romantic, but it's not, because I don't know if there even is one. To be honest
oh
with you.
yeah, thermodynamics.
Perfect. Okay, nice. All right, all right. This is gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
Song you wish you had written, but somebody else got to it first. I know
The
there's
Scientist by Coldplay.
perfect. Oh, that'd be
Oh, I'm
perfect.
like, hey, me and Chris Martin, we got the same
That
brain,
would be
man.
perfect
What?
for you, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, silence or noise?
Oh, silence.
Silence is the best ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, music really does speak when words fail because dot dot dot.
The emotion is a shared experience for everyone who's listening and everyone who's performing.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, I do have two more questions, but I do thank you so much for coming. You can come on anytime you want to. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, James. You've been awesome to talk to.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like this. You like this chat. Okay. Okay. So
I need to color coordinate myself, man. You got all this orange stuff going on. I'm
I know,
feeling
right?
like, huh?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
love orange and I love green, so I don't know if you can see this green, dude. But
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah. But I playing it out, man. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I'm like, okay, I gotta really buckle down and find out what I want to do with it. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you can see, but I got an orange chair too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. You got it
Yeah.
all going on. Good
Yes,
job.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so these are going to be just fun questions. Bring it back to memories time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, how, how old are you by chance?
I'm sorry.
How old are you?
I won't disclose that, but I'm
I,
not 20.
I'm 46. So don't
Okay.
okay. So okay, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. We're going
Yeah.
all the way back to when you were 15, 16, or 17. Okay.
Okay.
We're looking inside your room. We're looking at your walls. Okay. Is
Yep.
there any musical posters on the walls? And if so, who are they of?
No musical posters.
No. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no. I love
No.
music.
Yeah. Right.
Listen to it a lot, but I didn't have any posters. I might have had posters of other things in my room, but
Yeah.
no music.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, like a beautiful swimsuit model
there
with
you
a red
go.
bikini on was in my
Yeah.
room.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's it. And
Mm.
love the color red. Lots of red everywhere. So red
Red's a
shirts
great
and
color.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's my third favorite color. It's orange, green, red. I love it. I love red to death. Right in the room too, you know. So that's the
yeah.
best for it. Okay. So we're gonna do a okay. So we're gonna do like a Mount Rushmore of your four favorite bands or artists or singers.
Okay.
Okay, you got four of them, and I know it's gonna change right after I get off the phone with you. You know, but
Yeah.
as of right now, who are your four favorites?
I would say, hmm, I, I, s- I would say Vance Joy.
Okay.
Um, I would say Lord Huron, um, John Mayer,
Great pick.
and
I know it's
Jason Mraz.
okay. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So we have one more question for you, and I'm gonna let you go. Um, this is the hardest question I'm gonna ask you today, probably. You know, um, many people have knocked this out of the park, which I'm sure you can knock it out of the park too. Uh, is there one song, artist, or album that you can listen to right now, but you can't tell me or anybody else how it makes you feel deep inside your soul?
I can't tell anyone, so I get to listen
Like,
to it.
like you don't know how to. You can't express your emotions by hearing the song. Like you
Oh,
can like you can say one or two things about the song, but that it really doesn't clarify the way you feel. You know.
oh man, I don't know. I, I I'm thinking, do I know of an album? I would say, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a fan of the Three Tenors,
Okay.
and they have an amazing album. I don't speak Italian. I would have a hard time. It's probably the only one. I'm pretty descriptive and in touch with my feelings,
Right, but you can.
so I
Right,
would be
yeah.
able to yeah, do most of it.
Yeah.
But Pavarotti, I love his voice as a male tenor opera singer.
Right.
I'm not sure why I love that album or those songs so much. Maybe there's two. There's another album by a um, a panpipe player. His name is Zamfir, and he's got this. I don't know. I can't really explain why I like that album either, um,
Yeah.
but I do. So yeah, I guess there's a couple, and
Yeah.
most of the time it's just touching me in a way that it's hard for me. It's like, it's not a surface thing, right? It's something super deep, like this resonance that's in the song, in the album, that's happening that I don't know why.
Can't find the words to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The music is so beautiful like that because there's songs where you just love to explain to people too, but there's some songs where it's very very deep in your soul that you cannot express it. You know.
And the musical performance matters a lot. Like
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Chris Cornell sang
I love them to
uh
death.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's
Yeah.
well, he was amazing. Yeah. He sang Nothing Compares to You
Yes.
on the
Perfect cover.
acoustic.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, I heard
Mm.
that. Oh, why do I love that so much? I don't know. There's another guy, Larry Fleet. He's a country singer.
Yeah.
He sang a song called, I think it's called this is where I find God. And I think Morgan Wallen sang harmonies with him on it.
Mm.
And it's a live performance. And there's just something about that. Those two, I don't know, there's a few other ones that are on my list. And I'll go back and listen to those songs on YouTube. And I'll just let them wash over me. They're just
Right.
phenomenal, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's give you some shout outs before before you go. Everybody can go to markwintersmusic.com, and he is on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon, and he has a merchandise store there, which he sells shirts, hats, and CDs and bracelets and all the fun stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that everybody goes to Apple Music or Spotify, download the song "Let It Rain," and there's 4 more albums you can enjoy: Acoustic of Me, MC equals MC squared, Boundary Layer, and Slipstream. Right?
Yes.
Did I
Yes,
get it
sir.
all?
And
Right.
I'm on tour in the spring and the
Yes,
fall
yes,
this year.
we're on
So
tour,
come out and
yes,
say hi in
yeah.
person. Yes.
Right. Now is you're on okay? So I think I think I looked up your tour schedule, and you're doing some shows in Canada, correct?
I am. I am. I
Okay.
have about 120 shows this year, and I think about 20 of those are going to be in Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess Canada's a real fun that you know because
It's a
yeah. I hear
Yeah, it's
Canada's great.
amazing. And you know, music lovers are great no matter where you go and meet them, right? They're just
Exactly.
phenomenal
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So everybody, that's markwintersmusic.com. Dude, I enjoyed you like so much today. I want you to come back anytime you want to, okay?
Thank you so much, James. You've been a pleasure to talk with, and thank you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that said, everybody, thank you so much for listening. And always remember, when words fail, music speaks. Bye, guys.